Give me my theme music.
What's up, Buffs Nation, and welcome into Buffs News Weekly Live. I'm your host, Russ Dornish, and welcome to this Monday afternoon show. Today on the show, we will be going over the rookie NFL minicamps and how our CU Buff alumni players are doing. We're going to go over the past weekend's recruiting trip and what the recruits have to say, maybe where we're sitting with them. And then we're going to talk about what this week will look like. We got a couple more visits coming in, as well as a high school commitment occurring on Wednesday, in which I think the Buffs have a good chance to land the player committing on Wednesday. So without further ado, appreciate you guys dropping by. You see Joe coming in from Twitter. Keith, how's it going? Appreciate you dropping by as well. Hey, make sure to hit that like as you're in the conversation. Hey, head over to YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, comment over there. It greatly helps the channel, greatly helps me, and it's an easy way to support me and what I do just by simply coming over, hitting the like, and being subscribed. It gives me everything that I need. So appreciate all of you guys for doing that. Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, and Spoken Sports, appreciate you dropping by as well on this Monday afternoon. We're going to cover so much today, so strap in, be ready to go, and of course, drop those questions and comments, and I will do my best to get to each and every one of them. Of course, if you always want to make sure that your comments are read and responded to by me, you can always throw out a super chat. Big shout out, by the way, as always, to our YouTube members. Currently, of course, my good friend David Talks Buffs and our other YouTube membership, Tim Stop. Appreciate you, Tim. Appreciate you, David, as always. For being members, of course, you can be a member for as low as $1.99 a month or $5 if you want access to the all 22 video for CU. You get that as being a member, and of course, you support the channel. So if you want to do that, check us out over on YouTube. Appreciate you guys dropping by again. Didn't have a different handle when I watched from Twitter. Adrian, welcome back in. Finally back live. I'm doing good. How are you doing today? King John, as always, what's up? What's up? And what's up to the chat? Appreciate you guys, as always, dropping by for each and every show. It is always greatly appreciated by myself. So let's get going. Let's get started. And hey, let's go real deep right away, shall we? Because let's talk about, of course, the discord that happened this weekend when it came to our Colorado Buffaloes and rookie minicamp. And we're going to start where it should start, which is probably the most eyes-on watched member of the Colorado Buffaloes this weekend. And that was, of course, quarterback Shedeur Sanders of the Cleveland Browns. As everybody knows, for whatever reason that was completely pointless and made no sense whatsoever, Shedeur Sanders dropped in the draft to the 5th round. And for some reason, the Cleveland Browns took him after taking Dillon Gabriel before him. So both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders were in action this weekend at minicamp. On top of that, Cleveland had a ton of rookies attending minicamp throughout the weekend, which allowed them to do a lot more than a lot of teams were doing. They were able to do some 7-on-7, even a little bit of kind of 11-on-11, especially Sunday, Saturday time frame. And well, the word out of camp by most people's accounts were that Shedeur Sanders was absolutely electric during the minicamp. Now, minicamp is minicamp, and it's just rookie minicamp. And I've already seen the comments because there's lots of people who are anti-Shedeur and everything that he does, saying, well, let's see if he does that against an NFL defense, or let's see if he does that against an NFL line. It's just so hilarious how the goalposts will continue to move each and every day. And then you've got guys like Tony Rossi, ESPN Cleveland, coming out and just literally lying through his teeth online about what happened. Like, we literally have the video. Cleveland was live streaming their rookie mini camp at times, and we were able to count how well Shedeur did. What was his completion percentage? What was his interceptions, if any? There weren't. And newsflash, his completion percentage was high as always. While Dylan Gabriel struggled at times. He literally struggled at times. And yet Tony Rossi from Cleveland ESPN comes out and says that Dylan Gabriel's completing more passes, the overall better quarterback and all this. It makes absolutely no sense what is going on. And again, you can tell that it's obvious that there is a biasness and there is some kind of negative aspect when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. And a lot of that has to do with the name on his back, the confidence that he holds, and what he's able to do. But when you talk to real people who know football, okay, do I know a ton about football? I know enough. That's about it. I will not say that I am an end-all be-all, okay? Did I play professional football? No. Did I play at a high level of football? No. So you can always take what I say with a grain of salt. And will I be wrong? Yes, I'm going to be wrong at times, guys. We're all wrong with our takes. Let's be honest. If we were perfect, we would be doing the job. But the one thing we can say, that is, if you look and talk to anybody connected to football, they will say that Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback and will most likely be a pretty darn successful quarterback. I mean, his floor is probably a mid-tier NFL quarterback. His ceiling, obviously a lot higher than that. Could be a star in the league. So the fact that he fell to the 5th round, which, by the way, today, Mike Tomlin also responded to not taking Shedeur Sanders and said that, you know, Shedeur's off the field, quote unquote, and he didn't say this, but I'm saying, like, paraphrasing, but his antics, the baggage that comes along with Shedeur Sanders was not what Mike Tomlin wanted to be a part of the culture in Pittsburgh. I laugh at that. I laugh at that because if you see everything that Shedeur has already done in Cleveland, whether it was going to the high schools, whether it's the work that he's putting in already, he is above all of that. And to say that he is not a good culture fit somewhere, well, guess what? Your culture's probably not very good then, is what I would have to say to that. I mean, I'm going off of several different people talking about it today. So I'm just repeating that. If it was or wasn't said, whatever, I'm going off that. There's obviously a reason that the Steelers didn't take him. Can we say that at least at minimum? That there is at least a reason that the Steelers didn't take him. Because they literally do not have a quarterback. The Steelers literally do not have a quarterback. So there's where we're at, okay? Dylan Gabriel is nothing more than a backup quarterback, and he's lucky, honestly, if I'm being honest, if he's even a backup quarterback, okay? The height on that guy is just absolutely ridiculously short as well. It's not what you want in a quarterback. And we have proof time and time again, that short quarterbacks have a very difficult time playing in the NFL. You know, a lot of people will go back to the Russell Wilson stuff and say, hey, look, Russ was successful as a really short quarterback. That didn't last very long. So I don't know if that's a rule or if that was outside. Okay. Yeah. The Cleveland reporter going up next to him being like, he's shorter than me is not very good. Okay. So I want to play for you guys what was said today in Cleveland on another sports show. You might recognize one of the guys who used to be on ESPN or I think NFL Network, one of the two. But let's listen into what they had to say about Shedeur Sanders and his work so far.
It's a stupid question because, you know, it's limited. But did one of the two look better to you in what they were asked to do than the other?
In just throwing the ball, it's not close. Shedeur Sanders.
It's not close
not
either.
Close. No.
Wow. That's okay. Now that's news.
That's news. But let me couch that by saying this is rookie mini camp.
Sure.
No pads, no full speed competition,
but
nobody coming to knock your head off.
It's telling they're side by side and they're not asked to do much, but they're both asked to do the same thing. And that one of them looked discernibly better than the other. I think that I didn't know that we would get that out of this mini.
We're standing here, Jay. They're on the field. They break the huddle from team stretch and team jog, and they go both pick up the ball and throw it. It's no question.
So it's what we all saw with our eyes. You saw all of the plays that were shown online, all of the throws that he made. I didn't see a single bad throw that Shedeur Sanders made. Okay. I do not see a single bad throw. And in fact, I see a ton of NFL caliber throws that he is making. And people want to critique him and say, he patted the ball. He took too long, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just absolutely hilarious the amount of goalpost moving, especially from people who are not NFL quarterbacks. Because when you look at NFL quarterbacks who have been in the league and they talk about Shedeur Sanders and what they see, they say they see an NFL quarterback. So what is going on? Like, what is going on? What caused this to happen? Obviously, it is the name in the back. It is the name on the back of the jersey. It is the fact that he is Deion's son. And he is going to make everybody eat their words. The Cleveland Browns are going to, as bad as this sounds, this is my opinion. The Cleveland Browns are going to luck. They are going to luck into a successful draft when, if you really look at their NFL draft, I think it's going to be a complete failure. I think it's going to be a complete failure, and the one pick that's going to make everything better is going to be the fact that they somehow got Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. The rest of the NFL are a bunch of jokes for letting that happen, and they pretty much gift-wrapped Cleveland's ability to not continue being a joke of a franchise, because I don't like the Mason Graham pick. I don't like what I've seen from him. I think a lot of his skill and ability was propped up from playing on the defensive line with another very good defensive tackle. And so in combination, they were able to do what they were able to do. But I don't like what for a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, he does not look like a top 5 pick. We'll see. It might change, but right now, the way he came in, the way that he is looking, I think it was an absolute reach. The fact is, guys, going into the draft, the rumors that were out there that Cleveland was going to try and take Travis at 2 and trade back into the draft at the end of the 1st to take Shedeur, we all laughed because we all said, hey, Shedeur's a top 10 pick. There's no way that Cleveland can get both of them. And yet, on draft night, they had the ability to do that. And take both Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders on this team and start their draft with those 2 players who are not only potential franchise players, but franchise changers. Imagine what Cleveland would see in jersey sales, in marketing, the things that they could have done with both players, both together. Like, the Cleveland Browns are the stupidest franchise in NFL history. And right there with them is probably going to be the New York Giants and now the Pittsburgh Steelers, if I'm being honest. Because for both of those teams to also pass up on Shedeur, it may come back to bite them. Now, if somehow Jackson Dart ends up being a great player, great, good for the Giants. I don't see it either there, but it's just absolutely crazy. And to think that they think Mason Graham's better than Jalen Carter, like, I get he had the foot injury, but to watch their tape and think that, oh yeah, Turbo. And this week now, the Saints have looked like the epitome of also a stupid franchise, because now that Derek Carr has retired, the Saints literally are going to go with Tyler Shuck as their quarterback. I don't know how anybody, I mean, you don't have to be a football mind. Go watch Tyler Shuck's video and please tell me where you see an NFL quarterback at all. At all. Like, it's just absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane to me that the New Orleans Saints did not take Shedeur Sanders. And you want to talk about a city that was desperate for a star, a player to rally around like they did for Drew Brees. Shedeur Sanders would have been that as well. I mean, you just see what's going on in Cleveland right now. I mean, Cleveland's views and social medias are through the roof, and they get it. For a 5th rounder, Shedeur Sanders is sure the face of the team already. It's absolutely embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. I mean, they better. I mean, overall, if they somehow end up, with a decent first round next year, I'm just saying this year they drafted horribly. They drafted horribly. How is it insane when Shedeur did terrible in his interviews? Because I don't care about interviews. I care about what's on tape, how they play. I care about researching into it more. Shedeur is a man of the community. Like, he is a man of the community. I would have done more due diligence on it and just found out, like, what was the reason that the interview went so bad? There has to be a reason, And I think the reason, honestly, was Shedeur thought he was going to another team and didn't really care about those other teams. And then somehow that team just decided, we're not taking him anymore. Whether that was the Giants, whether it was Cleveland, I have no idea. But we don't have proof of these interviews that everybody talks about. We just have words and rumors and unnamed sources and all this stuff. Like, I think they're just trying to save their jobs at this point with some of that stuff. But he's got the throws. He is a quarterback, guys. And to think, like, outside, by the way, guys, outside of the off the field, he's not, you see it. His teammates are already rallying around him. He's already a member of the community. Has Shedeur ever gotten in trouble? Okay? What is the worst thing that Shedeur Sanders has done in his career to cause scrutiny? Oh, I'll tell you. He went to Paris Fashion Week. Like, that's the worst thing. And yet a player like Johnny Manziel gets taken in the first round. And yet other players who are numerous and countless have been taken high in the draft with way worse. There was a guy in this draft who had sexual assault allegations and was taken higher than Shedeur Sanders. So what are we even talking about with his interview went a little poorly? Okay, maybe he drops out of the first round. But to tell me that you're not willing to take a flyer on a guy that has the tape that Shedeur does, like, that's crazy. Like, you get it? No drugs, no DUIs, no sexual assaults, no abuse cases, no issues with the police whatsoever in Boulder. If you ask anybody in Boulder, they would say that Shedeur Sanders was an outstanding citizen who made that community better. Isn't that what you want? You ask his teammates how they feel about Shedeur Sanders, and they'll all tell you that they absolutely loved him. It's just absolutely insane to me that we're witnessing right now a quote-unquote fifth-round draft pick that looks the way that he does, except guess what? We saw it. We saw it. It absolutely was personal. It absolutely was. It's funny that coaches don't have to pick who's going to be QB1 because the fans and teammates already picked. I mean, no offense. If you guys are Colorado people, you'll know that this happened with Tim Tebow. This happened with Tim Tebow on the Broncos because everybody wanted Tim Tebow and they forced our coach's hand because our coach did not want Tim Tebow. It happens. And what's funny is, Adrian, like, the message to Deion, I would like to know what that message is because the rest of his kids got drafted. Not Shiloh, I'm saying, but I mean his kids as far as his coach kids. Travis didn't get punished for being a Sanders kid. Like, that would have been a way better way to punish Coach Prime. Because if Travis of all people drops in the draft, then that means everyone who's associated with Shedeur or with Coach Prime is going to drop in the draft. And yet, that's not the case. They just punished Coach Prime's kid. Jimmy Horn still got picked. LeJohntay Wester got picked. And yet, what are we hearing out of mini camps from all across the NFL when it comes to our Denver Broncos? Jimmy Horn is a steal of the draft. LeJohntay Wester is going to be a star in Baltimore. And both those guys, by the way, went at the bottom of the draft. Any team could have taken them. And we know, as Colorado fans, just how good those players were. If you were following my show all season, I told you LeJohntay Wester is open every single second of the day. One of the best route runners in the entirety of college football. And somehow that guy ended up at a very, very late round pick to the Baltimore Ravens, who desperately need wide receivers to go with a Lamar Jackson and a Derrick Henry offense. And they just got a guy who is going to be able to get open for Lamar Jackson 24/7. 24/7. And Jimmy Horn, while he had some injury problems with the Buffs, we knew the speed was there, guys. He has NFL speed. He has NFL speed. And now he's, getting to team up with McMillan in Carolina and with their quarterback. Like, okay. He's going to probably be successful. And what are we hearing, guys? What are we hearing around the NFL when it comes to these guys on each and every team? Each and every team's local media are saying, oh my gosh, these guys are a dream to cover. These guys are a dream to watch in practice. They do not let up. They work their butts off. They came in prepared. They study. They do everything right. So you know what that tells me and should tell everybody else? Coach Prime and the CU staff know how to prep their players for the NFL. So to those of you who are unsure about the future of Colorado recruiting and the future of the team, all that we have to show is that the reputation of players that Coach Prime puts in the NFL is going to continue to grow to where they are going to hold that as an extra bonus. If you've got the skill and talent, I'm going to pick you 10 times out of 10 over a lot of other players with similar talents because you went with Coach Prime. Because you went with Coach Prime. I'm telling you, we're building a legacy. We're building a reputation that is going to follow Coach Prime, where people are going to say, I want a Coach Prime coached kid. I'm going to take a chance on a Coach Prime coached kid in the late rounds that maybe shouldn't have gotten drafted. I'm going to take that guy in the first round if he has that high. Like DJ McKinney right now is getting first round grades. If he performs really well this year, and Travis, for instance, performs really well, then, hey, all bets are off. But DJ McKinney could be a first-round pick. Another first-round pick for Colorado. And let's be honest, before DJ McKinney came to Colorado, was anybody talking about him in that light? Was anybody? I mean, I hear all the time people online are upset right now with the coaching staff and their recruiting. They don't think they're doing enough in the transfer portal. They feel like we're getting beaten out by some teams. And unfortunately, yes, that's happening. But we can't stop it if a kid truly just wants to go to a team to get paid. If a team wants to go to the NFL and has true NFL aspirations, we're proving that if you come to Colorado and put your money where your mouth is, you're going to end up in the league in a very, very good position. Very good position. Oh, almighty, I can't wait to see LeJohntay in preseason. He's going to be a preseason warrior where they're going to be forced to play him with the first team by the end of that. Absolutely. I get that you're upset with Andre, but I got something to show you guys a little bit later on when we talk about recruiting that you guys are not going to like when it comes to Coach Andre Hart. And it's maybe he's not the guy you think he is. Mason Graham looks so small for a defensive tackle. Looks like a high school player. I can't see him beat. Well, what I didn't like was just watching him go through the drills. He looked unathletic. He looked like he was struggling with some of the drills that should be easy to do as an elite line player. Spurtree, I know more than anybody else. We are absolutely a joke before those 3 years. I will never not think whatever I have to think for Coach Prime being in Colorado. Because now we are relevant. We have NFL talent. We have NFL coaches. He was slipping and sliding, couldn't get around the edge. Like, oh man, did not look pretty. Did not look pretty. I get that, but I'm talking about the IMG kid too, because it looks like we're kind of trending for him now, or at least that's what 24/7 is saying. Baker grabbed himself on live TV and still went first. Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, like nobody cared. That was all cockiness that people liked. But Shedeur Sanders shows cockiness. CU's now wide receiver U, soon to be DBU. Artemis, if we get some kids drafted and continue getting kids drafted each and every year, I get it. Ohio State gets the top receiver every single year. But do they have as many receivers as we just did get drafted every single year? A little bit difference. Well-off media must not like DJ McKinney got torched all spring by the new kid. This spring break is way too long. I know. Summer's almost here, guys. Summer's almost here. Dalius Thomas should be the new linebacker coach. At least the recruits will have some respect for him. We'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. Don't hold your breath just yet on that, guys. Don't hold your breath just yet. So I wanted to talk to you guys about everything going on, what's going on across the NFL. My point of the respect and admiration that is building for Coach Prime and this program just continues because what we're seeing out of rookie minicamp, how prepared these guys are, even the undrafted guys like your Cam Silman Craig, like your BJ Green. Now, I will say, to end out our talk about the NFL and the buffs in the NFL in this portion here, the thing is, why is Chidozie Nwankwo not on a roster? That one I am completely clueless about. The fact that Jamal Mayers got a rookie invite and Chidozie Nwankwo did not, I'm just confused about that. I'm absolutely confused about why Chidozie is not. He's getting rave reviews from Warren Sapp, rave reviews from Coach Prime. But here's the thing. There's one thing with him not getting drafted, but not even an invite when Jamal Mayers is getting an invite to a training camp. Tell me how that works, please. Sure, yes, absolutely. But there's no risk in bringing him in for a rookie tryout. I get that, but there's literally no risk. Like, what'll happen? What'll happen? I get it. Like, somebody take a flyer on him. Somebody take a flyer on him. At this point, it's literally no risk, high reward. I don't see why not. I have no idea. There's that. It would have been great to see Chidozie come back. It would have, and for him to dominate another year. But it's just rough out there. Like, I don't get how he's not at least getting, just a random look, Okay, so let's move on to our second topic of the show, which is recruiting. Now, first up, I do want to talk real quick because there was a commitment over the weekend. Technically, yesterday, there was a commitment. And that was Jack Hystera, who, by the way, is an ex-CU buff. Went on a little tour of some other schools. Didn't do bad. Okay, last season, Utah State, 11 games, 24 receptions, 340 yards, 4 touchdowns, 28 passes for 349 yards and 3 touchdowns the year before in Charlotte. A good depth piece to add to see what he can do. And I also think that Hystera can be a special teams demon. I really do. This kid works his butt off. He does a lot. So I'm glad that we added just a little bit more depth there. It doesn't really cost us anything, guys. It doesn't really cost us anything to have on the roster. So there is that. And that's something to think about. Okay? There's absolutely something to think about. So, Jack Hystera coming back to Colorado, started off here, then went on to Charlotte, then went on to Utah State, now back at Colorado. He is a Colorado kid, guys. He's also looking to finish up his college football career, and what better way to do it back at home? Okay. His parents live here. It's all his family's here. That's part of it, guys. Okay. That's part of it. So we got a commitment from Jack Hystera. Now I want to talk about rivals and what they had to say about our recruiting weekend. Okay. So going to give you guys some interesting information when it comes to that. Okay. So 4-star cornerback Dorian Barney, who I do think is a lock for Colorado. I think he's going to be here. Here's what he had to say about his official visit. He still has trips to Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, Penn State, and Michigan scheduled. He said it went well. I enjoyed it for sure, being around the staff the whole time, getting way more comfortable with the whole staff for sure. I just feel loved. That's what they've been doing this whole entire time. The official visit was super cool. We can't wait to see what the next step is. So Dorian Barney, I think, is a 2026 lock for Colorado. Now, Genivre, however you pronounce it, Carr, 4-star offensive lineman, had some interesting tidbits, by the way. Listen to this. The visit was great. Once I stepped out of the car, I was greeted with most of the coaching staff. The best part was sitting in the meeting room and getting on the board and showing them what I know and also the connection and conversations. Colorado is definitely a school I'm considering after this weekend. They see me coming in and starting at right guard next year. Very interesting little tidbit. Maybe they think Chauncey Gooden is a left guard. Okay. Whatever that looks like, but they see him coming in and starting right now as right guard and being a 3-year player with 4 coaches in that offensive line room. Very interesting where he said 4. I thought there was only 3. Not sure what's going on there. I strongly believe that I can start. They've already seen and know what it takes to get to the NFL. The next step is getting back up here to visit for a game. So there was a comment in here, 1 commit for 2026. Colorado is not going to get maybe 1 or 2 commits before the season starts. The guys who they are going to get will be committing in late fall. We will not see any commits until November, December. Okay, guys, that's just the way it is. These guys want to see what's going on at Colorado this season. They want to come to games. They want to be sure it's what they want. They're going to hold out to figure out if Colorado's the right fit for them if they want to see that. Okay? So that's what's going to happen. Next up is the big one, and that is the surprise Deion Forkpa Jr., who, by the way, I was told by somebody on Friday was not coming for a visit. Well, he did come for a visit. He was here, and he absolutely loved it. Okay? Here's what he had to say, and this is where you guys aren't going to be happy. I learned a lot of things about Colorado on my visit. These are the kinds of people I want to surround myself with. He highlighted his visit to campus, time spent around coaches, but in particularly highlighted the time that he got to spend with Coach Andre Hart. It was amazing, he said. I'm laughing just thinking about it. I learned so many things I can add to my game for my upcoming high school year. The coaches are so honest, so down to earth, and they care about the human more than they care about the football player. That was from Deion Forkpa, who, by the way, had a really fun video that he posted with 5-star Sedarian Morgan, them enjoying their time in Colorado. And then this one's very interesting. Okay, very interesting. Tight end Julius Miles, 3-star, 6'6", 220, by the way. Okay. They just skyrocketed in my recruitment. The message is to come in and be an All-American and a first rounder. It's 100% a potential option for me. It was great getting to come in person. It was way different than what you see on the cameras. The people are great. The environment is beautiful. I like their staff, and their vision for me fits my game. I like the city, and the fans are already going crazy for me. He will lock in his college recruitment on July 5th. So we've got both of those. Okay? We've got both of those. And 81 Gators, my question to you is, where is Brandon Hood right now? The whole Hood saga thing is kind of frustrating to me because Colton put out that he wanted to play with his brother, and that's why he was leaving Colorado. And yet Colton ends up at Tennessee, and his brother ends up out in the cold. Okay? Correct. But Tennessee only wanted Colton too. Tennessee only wanted Colton too. So the whole rhetoric around the hoods is a complete lie. So either Tennessee rolled up with a massive bag and Colton ended up taking it rather than playing with his brother, or that was an absolute lie. Came straight from Colton. I'm leaving because Brandon's not on the team and I want to play with him. It came straight from Pastor. And yet, Colton's now on Tennessee and Brandon's nowhere to be found. I told you guys. I told everybody when this happened. Colton better know what he's doing and have a plan, because he's not going somewhere with his brother that's going to be a high-level Power 4 team. I love Brandon Hood. I was excited to see what happened. But it's obvious that he's not the level to be an SEC running back, because Colton's now at Tennessee, and it's obvious why. It's obvious why Colton Hood is at Tennessee without his brother. His brother ends up nowhere. Like Keaton Wade understood he could not follow his brother if he wanted to play high-level football. Like, there's no reason to switch teams unless there was another reason to switch teams. So what should have been said is, hey, I got a great offer. If Colton had said that, hey, man, good for you. You're still going to be a first-round pick. Go get that money. Fine. I hope it works out for you. But it's just kind of crazy to me. Suppose the only reason Colton came to see you is to play with Brandon. Well, and then Colton comes out and says that the only reason he's leaving is because he wants to stay playing with his brother, and they kicked Brandon off the team. They said that they didn't have a spot for Brandon. So, hey, there you go. He said that to the team. I don't think he's saying that to recruits. We don't know what's going on in that room. Let's wait it out, guys. Let's wait it out. Okay? Let's see what happens. Maybe they believe in one of the running backs on their team and they didn't want to drop a bag for a different running back. Maybe that's the case. Let's see what happens. Okay? Because they're recruiting 2026 running backs pretty well. We'll have to see what happens. We will. Okay, so that was from the weekend. Then a little bit more of news and information that I want to let you guys know. Gavin Mueller will be committing on Wednesday. I feel good about his commitment. We can talk about it. I will be streaming his commitment. Okay? I will be streaming his commitment live. If he commits to Colorado, great. We can have a little bit of a celebration and a party for another 2026 commit. If he doesn't, we can talk about why, or we can talk about what's going on. Okay? I love doing these with you guys. I love being a part of them, even if they don't go our way. There's always that can happen. So, that's what we have going on with Gavin Mueller. I think we're high on his list. I think he fits in well. I hope he commits to Colorado. I think that we would be the best option out of the teams that he's looking at. Okay? We did bring in DeKalon Taylor. I think they like what they have with him, but I also think that they like Micah and Dallin. I think that Marshall Faulk right now is working really hard with Dallin Hayden. And I think it's going to be completely different than what we saw last year from him. The Hood Boys fell for the banana in the tailpipe. No, did he? I love it, Keith. Obviously, something happened there. I never thought B. Hood was that good, but not keeping him just to keep Colton when you have 20 roster spots is weak. Portal is crazy. I get that. And that's true. They do. If they do, great. We look like geniuses. If they both get hurt, yes, we're going to be talking about it. They have Taylor, Dallin, and Micah. Yep, I knew he left for a bag. I said it in a post he was under, and there was no correction from him. So they actually dropped Brandon Hood, and Colton said, I'm out. That's pretty much what happened. Could Folk thinks he has the same celebrity as Prime? Could that not be the case for high school running backs? We'll have to see. Guys, the recruiting class just started when it comes to that. Boulder should have after weather rolls out of town some kind of carnival fair, or these recruits' favorite music artists do concerts, something after spring practice. Running backs are good. The O-line is priority. Good O-line can make an average running back good. It's true too, Spur Tree. And we're looking pretty good on the running back or on the offensive line front. I like what we have. I like what we're going to potentially have as far as the lineup goes. I really do. I really, really do, guys. Really do. So there's that as well. So yeah. So like I said, Gavin Mueller, Wednesday, be on the lookout. I'll have a live stream set up for the Gavin Mueller commitment. You guys can join me here Wednesday afternoon to be a part of that or watch that later on to see what our reactions are if he does commit or if he doesn't commit. Other things I want to talk about is North Alabama linebacker transfer Sean Myers is set to visit Colorado early this week. Another linebacker to bring in. Just something to keep an eye on. I know you guys aren't going to be happy with the level that he's coming from to add some depth to the linebacker room. So there's that as well. Okay. Okay. Outside of that, what we got else? Russ, why would they drop Hood? I'm not even sure. I believe that part at this point. Tennessee came in the bag is the only real answer I see. Hey, maybe it is. We haven't heard directly from the team. We're going off of what B Hood said, or Colton Hood said, and we're going off of what Pastor said. If you guys know, Coach Prime's own pastor, related to the Hoods, whether through blood or just, close family, he even said that Colton wanted to play with Brandon, so he had to up and leave. And that's what happened. But there you go. I'm actually surprised that Christian Sarum is still on the running back CU roster and B Hood isn't. One could be a scholarship and one could be a walk-on. Maybe B Hood wanted a scholarship. I will say CU tuition is not cheap. CU tuition is not cheap. So it's a little harder to be a walk-on player at Colorado if you're going to be a part of that roster. I believe scholarship-wise, we're at like 75, 76, I think. We've got space, guys, for scholarship and roster players. So it's not that case yet. It's not that case yet. Any running game is better than what CU had in the past few years. Won't be hard for Falk in that O-line. Plus, we got to talk about this. I keep trying to bring this up. We have Caden Salter on the roster for a reason. He's going to bring an extra dimension to that running yards. Okay? Absolutely. Speaking of which, guys, I want to talk about something that is kind of impactful. So ESPN put out a list of the best roster newcomers in the college football world. Okay? In the college football world. And guess what, guys? Colorado is ranked pretty good. They like what we've added to the team. Okay? They have Colorado coming in at number 12. Right here. Number 12. Top impact recruits, of course, Julian Thomas, London Merritt, Quentin Gibson, Quinnell Farrakhan. All great recruits that we brought in. Lewis, listen to this from ESPN. 5-star recruit. One of the most heralded quarterbacks in ESPN recruiting era. He headlines Colorado's recruiting class and arrives with all the tools set to break records in Boulder. Lewis could work his way to the mix as the season progresses. Farrakhan might see the field as either returner or rotating outside receiver. Gibson is small, but is coming off a monster senior season. They love him, and they love what he could potentially bring. And then the transfers, Caden Salter, Xavier Hill, Joseph Williams, Sincere Brown, Zai Chrysler, and Akinlola Ogunbiyi. Salter arrives, and this is where I want to talk about. Salter arrives from Liberty as a more dynamic runner than Shedeur Sanders, especially when making plays outside the pocket. He's not that far behind Sanders in accuracy either. Salter's presence allows the 5-star Lewis to develop patiently in his first year without immediate pressure. The O-line has gone under a complete overhaul. Hill is the highlight with impressive mobility for his size and can either play guard or tackle. Brown was a key addition this spring. 61 passes caught for 1,000 yards and 12 scores. His production will translate to the Big 12, and at the very least, in the red zone where he is 6'5". Guys, we have got a lot more than you think. We've got a lot more to what you guys think on this team. Okay? Absolutely. So let's see what happens. Take my word. CU is not cheap. Just finally paid that off. Brady, you get it. CU is not cheap. If you are a walk-on, trust me, that is not easy to do at CU. There are other schools where you can walk on and somehow get paid or get money to cover school. If that's not happening at CU, you're probably not able to attend. And I can see if the Hoods are paying for 2 kids or 1 kid to go to school here, it's not easy. He wants a scholarship. He's going elsewhere to get that scholarship. Salter will lead the team in rushing after the game. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Hit that like. My boy's on it tonight. Thank you, Spurtree. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Had a lot of stuff going on. Hakeem's 40. He got an NFL body, but does he have that speed? I think it's pretty good. I mean, I think he's very similar to Sincere Brown. They both have breakaway plays. Like, most of their stuff was not jump balls that you would think for how big they are. It was a lot of screen and tunnel plays that Hakeem's and Sincere Brown took to the house last year. So that's something to think about. Does Hakeem Williams start? I don't know. I think he's going to be one of the first ones in, though. I still think, if I'm going to be honest, I think our receivers are going to be Omarion, Draylon, and I'm going to go with that third one's a tough one. I mean, it's going to be up there with Joseph Williams, Sincere Brown, and Hakeem. I'm going to say that. With Farrakhan Gibson getting some plays in there as like the Joker type-esque player and what's going on. But Joseph Williams, I think, is going to be that guy. I agree there. I do. You can have all the best tools, but you have to know how to use them, Coach Shermer. It's all on you. Oh, trust me, we will. Pastor also mentioned the Hoods initially didn't want to be far from home. Now, if Brandon gets picked up by a school far away, the end of the situation they tried to avoid. I mentioned this last year. CU are going to be just fine in a few years. CU will make the Big 12 relevant again. Absolutely right, Russ. All these recruits better recognize, do you want to go to the NFL and be prepared? Come to Colorado. It makes sense. My sleeper player will be the other. Yeah, no, Kylan has been a pleasant surprise this spring. I've loved what I've seen by him, and I think he will have a very, very good season for Colorado and surprise some people. Sincere, JoJo, Draylon, Omarion. Yeah, I think that's our top four right there, guys. I think that's our top four. Yeah, Harge can be thrown in there as well. I absolutely agree with that. We have a lot of those Joker-type players we can rotate in and just move them around the field, guys. If Shermer is not ready to be creative, then we will have to find somebody else who's ready to be creative, because the tools and the weapons are there, okay? The tools and the weapons are there. It absolutely should happen. You know what? I forgot Harge can play running back. Draylon can play running back, by the way. Cam, they're going to play at running back a little bit too. You can't sit out JoJo, Sincere, Hakeem, and Omarion. Like, think of the size on that, guys. Think of the size. And here's the thing. While K-Salt needs to stay healthy, if he gets hurt, if Caden Salton gets hurt, it's not the end of the season like it would have been when Shador got hurt. If Shador got hurt. Just saying. At least I think Juju can step in and at least be, just fine in that role. But I do think that Caden is going to determine how truly successful we are this season. Shermer has to get crafty with those whiteouts and run game, or he has to go. Agreed. Hey, Adrian, I appreciate you. I appreciate you showing the love. $2 super chat. Thank you so much for that, guys. I appreciate you guys all, as always, for supporting the channel and supporting me. I really do. If you also want to support, support for free. Hit the like button. That helps. Hey, comment on the video after it gets posted later on. Go back and comment. That helps too. Even if it's just a little hello. That helps with the algorithm. Be subscribed. Share the channel. Share the videos. Okay? Joe, no disrespect to Cam, by the way. No disrespect to Cam. But until he shows in the field, we just have to wait and speculate on what he's going to do. Okay? That's all. That's all. I love what I see from Cam, and I think he'd be an absolute unbelievable player. He's got to show it on the field. He's got to stay healthy and show on the field. And absolutely, I think the sky's the limit with that kid. With the receivers we have, it'll be difficult to run because we got one ball, 16 pair of hands. We'll see. I think it's still situational. They need to sculpture Coach Prime and the Flatirons. Recruiting will go crazy. Terrell Timmons, I have no idea what's going on with him, guys. I have no idea. One of the quietest players on the team to just stick around and just hang. Just hang. I don't get it. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it for today. I got a lot of other stuff I got to get done. But, hey, Wednesday afternoon, make sure you're back. I'll advertise it on Twitter. I'll advertise it on YouTube. Come back for the commitment show or watch the video later on. I'll get some other videos out. I'm going to do some deep dives into some recruits as well. Just videos, not live. So make sure you guys support that. And, of course, hey, you guys want to support the channel, become a member. It's a one-time fee a month. $2 or $5 a month, depending on if you want access to some extra videos and stuff. That's a huge support to the channel. I appreciate everyone. We've got 2 members right now. We'll see if that continues to grow. Hey, and if it continues to grow, I might do some more stuff for it in the future. So if that's at all something that you're interested in, feel free. That's an amazing way to support the channel, and I appreciate every single one of you each and every day. Thank you guys so much for all that you have done for me to support this channel. I thank you. But until next time, for Buffs News Weekly Live, I'm your host, Russ Dornish. Go Buffs!